Welcome to Daily Office Devotions. I'm Reggie Kidd, and every Monday through Friday I offer devotional observations on some portion of that day's readings for morning prayer in the Book of Common Prayer. Today is Friday. Thanks so much for joining me. Our readings find us in Proper 24 of the Daily Lectionaries, Year 2. For our Old Testament reading this week and the next two, I'm treating the Song of Songs instead of the lectionary's choice, Ecclesiasticus, or Wisdom of Ben Sirach. Together, I hope we are discovering or rediscovering some of this best of songs enchantment. Today's portion is Song of Songs, chapter 3, verses 1 through 5. Feeling love's loss. I sought him whom my soul loves. I sought him, but found him not. I called him, but he gave no answer. I will seek him whom my soul loves. Song of Songs, chapter 3, verses 1 and 3. Today's verses in Song of Songs unfold as a mini drama of love sought and love found. Night after night, our singer lies on her bed, longing for him whom my soul loves. Her pining drives her, unwisely no doubt, into the nighttime streets. Happily, she meets not muggers, but the city's sentinels or watchmen or guardians, Hebrew shomerim. They have no answers as to the whereabouts of her lover. And suddenly, he whom my soul loves appears. She clings to him, and he brings her to her mother's home. And as she had done in the previous chapter, she warns her friends not to awaken love before its time. The logic of the story is hard to follow. It reminds me of trying to narrate a dream. I suggest a more indirect and analogical approach. In this passage, the Targum imagined errant Israel feeling the loss of the presence of the one she was called to love with all her heart, soul, mind, and strength. Even the sentinels, the watchmen, that is, Moses and the Levites, who are tasked in Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 9, with guarding, shemaru, guarding the people through teaching, even they can only point to the mercy of God. Only the return of the presence will satisfy Israel's longing. Only the presence can bring Israel home. For Christian interpreters, our deepest longing has been answered. The bridegroom has come. As Jesus says in John chapter 3, verse 29, he who has the bride is the bridegroom. However, until Jesus returns for the consummation of Revelation chapter 19's marriage feast, there are long nights of the Christian's longing. Blessed be the gracious God who provides songs, this best of songs, and psalm upon psalm. For example, Psalms 4, 31, 91, and 139 for those nights. And parenthetically, in the best and most satisfying of marriages, there are periods of separation when there is longing. Keenly felt, too, are the yearnings of those called to singlehood and those widowed or divorced. The Song of Songs meets us in whatever state of need for love our life finds us. We're not always given the full picture. Seal up what the seven thunders have said and do not write it down, Revelation chapter 10, verse 4. Unfulfilled longings and unanswered questions are part of the Christian's experience. Fearsome images announce destruction upon the earth in Revelation chapters 8 and 9 in preparation for final judgment. And then in Revelation chapter 10, just when the reader is expecting some explanations, what do the various symbols mean? When does all this take place? We have a curious note. John is about to write down the meaning of seven thunders he has heard, only to be told, seal it up and don't write it down. And then he is told that with no more delay, the mystery of God will be fulfilled as he announced, euangelizisthai, as he announced to his servants, the prophets. Revelation chapter 10, verse 7. And as though that weren't enough mystery, John is told to take a little scroll from an angel's hand and eat it. It will be bitter to your stomach, but sweet as honey in your mouth. Revelation chapter 10, verse 10. Finally, he's told he must resume prophesying about peoples and nations and languages and kings. Revelation chapter 10, verse 11. From this point on in Revelation, looking ahead for a moment, we will see the unfolding drama revolving around the contrasting destinies of the bride of Christ, chapters 12 and 19, and the whore of Babylon, Revelation chapters 17 and 18. For all the speculation about its details that the book of Revelation has brought in its wake, there are three simple messages Revelation wishes to convey. One, don't write it down. That is, we only get and apparently only need a limited amount of insight. Two, it was sweet as honey in my mouth. Nonetheless, we know that God is working a mystery that is good news. Ultimately, there will be release from all the pain for peoples and nations and languages and kings. And telling that story of victory and offering the hope of the gospel brings sweetness to our mouth. And then three, but when I had eaten it, my stomach was made bitter. Until that victory, death, destruction, and decay are part of earth's story, and thus what God's people must live through right along with everybody else. Persevering at Jesus' feet, ask, search, knock. Luke chapter 11, verse 9. Mary's desires are superior to Martha's because, like the singer in the best of songs, she wants nothing more than to bask in the presence and to hear the voice of the one whom her soul loves. Mary's great privilege is to be in the room with the very one whom Israel's sentinels had long awaited. What an apt follow-up is the subsequent section containing the Lord's Prayer and the Lord's encouragement to persevere in prayer. Like Martha, we find life's distractions, some important, some unimportant, pressing upon us. Unlike Mary, we don't have the option of sitting physically at Jesus' feet and listening to his physical voice. However, we have the profound words of the prayer he has left us. Furthermore, we have his promise that if we ask, search, and knock, we will find him faithful to give what we need, to be himself the end to our searching, and to open the door to his presence at our knocking. Be blessed this day.